Yo, I ain't fearing for my team so they can acquire Kruger, trying to make it in life.
Hello and welcome back again. It is Megrubbieswet, and I'm going to be introducing you a review of the latest episode of The Walking Dead, Season 8, Episode 10. This episode is jam-packed with so many different perspectives, so many different characters, outlooking of what's happened, and we have Jadis, Michonne, Rick, Negan, Simon, Enid, so many different characters at different places, just going over the episode, and it's so jam-packed. I know a lot of people from our community watch these shows and watch it so much, so I want to start reviewing. I've been trying to review it for so long now, and I guess I've finally gotten around to sharing my thoughts, because I have a passion. I read the comics, I watch Fear the Walking Dead, I watch The Walking Dead, I've been watching for years, and I really enjoy watching on my downtime when I don't stream or make gaming videos or anything like that. So I really want to start doing non-game content. I really appreciate everyone. The last live reaction video I did on the Walking Dead chapter 177 got a lot of positive responses, and a lot of people actually really enjoyed it, and that made me really happy because I had enjoyed it too. We're going to start off with Michonne. So they're still really mourning Carl's death. The walkers are still flooding the town. Rick's kind of contemplating to get his Carl's weapon or not, so he ends up taking it with him, which I would have taken it too. It's my son's gun, and I wouldn't want to leave it there, knowing it might not be there anymore. So I would take it too. Rick finds a dead saver and picks up his walkie-talkie, and then later on it's used in the episode to contact Negan, which is a really important part of the episode. But that's the end of the episode. We're going to start off at the start. So it gets overthrown. The whole place gets overthrown, and they try to clear it all out. There's a little kind of cottage that's burnt down, and that's where Carl used to sit on the roof and chill there. So pretty much they try and fire extinguish it all, but there's just too many zombies, so they do half of it and it just ends up burning down anyway. I would have tried to get rid of the cottage from burning as well, since my son loved that place. I tried saving it as well. So they start leaving Alexandria to go to the hilltop, and they're making their way over, and Michonne sees Carl's letters, and she's surprised that she sent one to Negan. I was a bit surprised too. Carl and Negan had some sort of connection. Negan actually hit. Carl was the only one to really hit Negan's soft spot, and no one really mentioned. Well, people do mention it, but honestly, they really had some sort of connection together. And we see Carl doing the footprint with Judith, which is really cute too, because that's a memory for Judith. Because Judith is not going to remember Carl when she gets older, if she does make it. So that's really important as well. So we see Negan's letter, and Michonne tells Rick about it, and then Rick talks to Michonne about Jadis, how Jadis was with him at the attack on the sanctuary, which is really important too. So she needs to go back. They need to go back to the junkyard to address. Hey, you need to fight with us. They're going to be coming for you really soon, and you see this later in the episode too, which is really impactful. I know you guys wanted to see the demise of the junkyard. I know you guys wanted to. And it finally happened. I mean, finally they got what's coming. When you sway sides so much, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be with you in the war, and then I'm gonna be with you, and then just keep swaying sides. Something's gonna happen, man. Someone's gonna get you for it. So they make their way into. They talk about the letters. They make their way into the junkyard, and then there's Jadis there sitting all alone, and you know what happens. And then they desperately dig at the trash pile, and there's so many dead scavengers flooding Rick and Michonne. They don't even know what to do. Like they nearly didn't even make it out, which is really interesting. So they get flooded in. We see Jadis a little bit later, so they see, the junkyard's already been gotten, it's already been exterminated. So they had a feeling it was coming, but they got there a little bit too late. So we see Negan Negan's little point of view. This is one of the most interesting part of the episodes. I think Negan's chat with Simon, and obviously the chat with Jadis and Rick, and I really enjoyed the chat with Negan and Rick at the end as well. So Negan pretty much talks to Simon about the attacks on Alexandria and about Gavin's group. See if they've heard from Gavin yet. And Negan talks with Simon, sits him down, and Simon proposes to wipe out everyone. Well, all the traitors at least. And Negan says that there's some sort of valuable resource to all the people, which is true. And I'm kind of siding with Simon here. I mean, they're not learning their lessons, so that they're just losing and losing and losing continuously, and they're not really getting it. I see Negan's perspective. I see both perspectives really clearly, but it's not working. It's not working. Every community is fighting back against the saviors, which means, I mean, yeah, you can kill one, spare the rest, but they're gonna all come back, and they're not gonna stop. So I'm really, I'm on the side with Simon a little bit. You know, they're not learning their lesson. They're losing a lot of people. They just keep losing, and they're not actually getting to fall in line. So they don't want to fall in line. They just want to keep fighting until one side is going to be obliterated. You know. So you know, Negan backlashes to him, but they get interrupted here. They get interrupted here with Gary and DJ coming in with Dean, which is from the satellite outpost. That's Simon's men, which means Maggie has 38 other saviors ready to exterminate if they don't stand down. So they'll kill most of the satellite outpost just like that if they do not stand down in the war. So Negan seems pretty pissed at this, but Negan's main goal is to dispose of Rick so everyone can fall back into line, which is his main goal. But Negan is really not happy with Simon's outlook on just exterminating people that don't agree with him. I mean, it's a smart idea because they're not going to agree with him, they're not going to fall in line, they're not going to be your bitch. Which means there's just going to be continuous war anyway. So I really liked how he's like, you know, we go further out, we find more communities to save. And then Negan's like, ha 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 ha. Obviously, it's a harder way of getting them to fall in line, but it's effective. It is if they fall in line, but it's not effective if they don't fall in line, which kind of Simon's right on this one, because they're not really falling in line. So that's that, and then they've got the other people they've got Dean from the satellite palace. They've killed one, and they've got the other 38 people left. So Simon goes into some sort of rage here, saying, you know, I want to kill all the hilltop now, because that's my men here, they're all going to die, you know. I would be furious if I was Simon too, because obviously, like, Simon's a fucking madman, obviously. He's a lot more hot-headed than Negan, when he needs to be. But there's obviously 38 saviors ready to exterminate, so look, that's going to be a big loss for the saviors, man. 38 dudes, they've already lost a lot of people. My opinion, like, they just can't stop fighting anymore, like, there's no peace. There has to be some sort of end game for all the communities, because it's just a mess right now, honestly. So the next one, so that's obviously, yeah, with Simon and Negan's chat there. Then Enid, we've got the Enids. I really like how the episode has all different types of perspectives and locations and people talking. Like, the next one is Enid now. We've got Enid and Aaron handcuffed in Tanya's house, with obviously Cindy, Rachel, and all the other characters, Beatrice, whatever you want to call her, the lesbian-looking bitch. The Oceansiders decide to leave the decision on what to do with the Alexandrias to Cindy, which is Tanya's, whatever, you know, Cindy's grandma, or whatever you want to call it. They let them live. So they want to take them to the forest, which they want to send them out. So Cindy just refuses to join the fight. I don't know if Cindy, I know you lost your grandma, but I don't know if you understand the magnitude of what's going on. If you defeat the Savage, all the communities can live in peace. We know who the enemies are, and we know who isn't the enemy. We know who's, you know, hostile, not hostile. Cindy says they've already contributed enough, you know, not killing them and giving them weapons and stuff like that, which is true, but you can't just hide in fucking in the middle of nowhere for the rest of your life, living in fear. You need to have some sort of ground to stand on. And I really disagree with Cindy here. She gives a warning them never come back to community, and then Enid says, "Hey, you know, I know you kill strangers, newcomers, so." Cindy says, "Oh, you know, don't ever come back here again, you know." Aaron is insisting on staying on the ocean side to try and give them more time to convince, which is a good point because a couple of people in the community, like Kathy and Beatrice, wanted to fight with all the other communities, which is a sign of, hey, they actually want to fight, but not everyone does. So he orders Enid to go back to Hilltop, let Maggie know what's going on, that Aaron's all the way out there trying to convince them not to come looking for him. He's all good. He just wants to convince the other community to fight with the rest of the communities, like the Hilltop, Alexandria, Kingdom, and obviously the ocean side if they do come in. And now Junkyard's not really a priority anymore because they Gornsky, which we're gonna go into that now with Simon's little flashback or Simon's little scene. Simon, the best part I think was probably Simon, man. He took the episode, this one. It's he's really intimidating, but I mean, damn, he stands down to Negan, dude. So Negan's his bitch at the end of the day, which is really cool. So Enid goes back to Hilltop. Now we have Simon here. Simon rallies all his men to try and make a trip to the junkyard. They meet and they go to the junkyard, and there's the junkyard's crew already with weapons, and they're ready their guns. Simon comes in. He demands an apology from Jadis because she had a presence with Rick at the sanctuary on the attack, but Jadis says, hey, she brought Rick to the Saviors as an offering. But they fired on them. So, and then Simon goes, bullshit. I just laugh my ass off here because that was really funny from Simon here to just go, bullshit. I've got a few notes here to, you know, get my mind in because as days go on, the episode does become blurry. My memory. So, yeah. Pretty much Simon calls her a liar. And then explains Negan is willing to forgo any punishment if they side back and honor the original deal, but they will take all of their weapons. Tamiel says, which is one of the leaders in the junkyard, the heap group, whatever you want to call it, the junksters, the junkies, the fucking garbage heapers. She says, hey, you know, we need our weapons for any upcoming issues. Simon says, hey, they wouldn't need to worry about anything because the Saviors are here to take care of them. And they're reluctant, but they do give over their weapons. Here's a really good, big sort of scene here. Simon actually questions their lifestyle and accommodation of why here, you know. This is her group, bro. It doesn't matter, you know. Look, every community's got their own little sort of gig, sort of style. Don't trash bag. As long as they're keeping people alive and doing their own thing, they don't bother. Well, I hope they don't. But this is a really important here, man. Simon mentions the solar panels. How they have solar panels, which is really interesting, and a helipad, a helicopter pad. What's a junkyard group gonna do with the helicopter pad and obviously solar panels, but a helicopter pad? There's some sort of impact there, and Simon knows something's up, and Jadis tries to hide it, and obviously there's some sort of something with this helicopter pad and something with these solar panels that made Simon tick a little bit, and Jadis tries to, you know, hey, I gave you weapons, what else do you want, you know? So yeah, he questions that. Jadis asks if everything's all good now, you know, we gave you weapons, and then Simon says, hey, you know, there's not much remorse, we need an apology. So Jadis gives a half-assed apology, and then he shoots, Simon shoots Brian, and then Jadis says, there is remorse again, and then there isn't really much remorse in that sentence, so Simon ends up killing Tamiel, which is the second person in her community. So Simon's going a bit over the top, man. You know, he was meant to kill one, and the rest fall in line. He's killed two now, which triggers Jadis to punch Simon which is really not good. And then Simon's like, no, 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 no. No, 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 like you've done it. Like kind of when Negan killed Glenn for Daryl going out of line and punching him. That's kind of like a foreshadow there because, you know, when one of them, Simon reminds me of just another level Negan because he just takes things way too far. Negan doesn't like that. Like Negan's not a mass murderer. Like I feel like Simon's more of a mass murderer than Negan, if you want to call it that. So he gets pissed off about getting punched. And then, I mean, I would have punched Simon too, dude. You just killed 2 of my community members. I gave an apology. You took all my weapons, and I'm going on your side now. And you've just killed like everyone. You've just killed pretty much 2 of my top commanders. And then, obviously, you know, Jadis punches him. He falls to the ground, gets pain on his shoe, and then she says, "There is remorse." And then Simon rejects her apology. And then issues to command to mow down everyone, so killing everyone in the scavengers group, which is not what Negan wanted, which is really an issue. So after that, I mean, holy shit, Simon is going to be in some big trouble, dude. He's going to be in some really big trouble. Like, he's killed all the scavengers now that they're of no use. So, oh man. And then he goes back to the sanctuary and they have a chat, and then Gavin's not reported back yet. You know, he asked to go out to see Gavin. Obviously, this episode has been really good. There's so much stuff. It's jam packed. It's so hard to break everything down if you go through it step by step. I just still can't get over what's happened here. You know, Simon essentially killing everyone. Oh man, Simon's gonna get what's coming to him so hard. Oh man, this is gonna be a big problem. So we see at the end, yeah, obviously Rick wanting to talk to Negan here. Simon inspects the paint on his shoe. He's getting all worried, and there's Jadis. This is Jadis' scene now. Rick and Michonne fight through the scavengers, and they see the amount of trash, and then there's Jadis, and she's speaking clear English. She's being herself. She's not being that scavenger-looking half caveman, broken down girl. She's actually speaking in English. She asks for a way out, and then she says, you know, it's back where they came from, which is sealed with rubbish and zombies. So, I mean, this is really big. This is really big. And I feel like, you know, Jadis is herself now without a community in some sort of way. She confides the pair recounting how she used to visit the junkyard before the apocalypse, you know, to craft materials and to paint on metals and fabrics and sheets. I formed a new home here and try and clean over a sea of garbage. And then Rick obviously says how she blames her for the current fate on her, which is a really big thing. I mean, like, to me, that's Jadis's fault, because you kept swapping sides, and you kept swapping sides, and we needed you on one side the whole time to actually win the war. So it was all Jadis's fault. I mean, if they had Jadis on their side the whole time, I mean, damn, hey, dude, Jadis shot Rick. I mean, Jadis took most of his weapons. Jadis did so much shit that disadvantaged the allied communities compared to the Saviors community so much that, oh man, like, Rick's like, enough with her games. Like, no, die. Not die, but I don't want to be a part of you, around you anymore. So Rick tries to escape with the door and whatnot. Jadis insists on coming with them. Rick's like, no, you're not used to me anymore. I'm sick of your games. They try and push out of the walkers. They nearly push out, and then there's an exit. Jadis comes up, wanting to come with them. Rick tries to scare her off with a revolver, but she ends up escaping like in an alleyway, but still in the junkyard. So she's okay. She survived it. Rick didn't want to kill her, just want to scare her off. You know, I don't want you coming with me. I don't want to be part of you anymore, you know? I gave you so many chances to be with me in like our community, you know? I bet Jadis regrets being on the Savior side. I mean, she's lost her old community now, you know? She has no fucking way to continue, you know? Uh, Jadis starts banging the staff against the top of the piece of machinery, so she has a meat grinder here, and she wants to get rid of all the dead scavengers. They get closer, and there's a machine there. There's a whole grinder, so all her communities are going to be grinded up. I love to see all the junk paste, all their bodies just being grinded up in the machine. It's so funny, like, so sad for Jadis, but oh man, she had it coming, not listening, eh? Like, it was time. So yeah, she grinds up all of her community, her dead community, in the meat grinder. Stops the machine. She's rested. She's all broken down from the junkyard, man. She doesn't have shoes on. She's all scraped up by all the sheets and metal and all injured and everything. She goes to all these hidden box with cans of applesauce, so she eats some food out of some tins. She's sitting there like, I bet she'd be so stinky and sweaty after all that. Ugh. She's pretty, but she's dirty, boy. And then there's the last one, which is Rick. Rick's kind of scene. So we've got Rick explains to Michonne that it wasn't her intention to kill Jadis, just to drive her away. You know, he doesn't want to kill her and all that. Machine says, hey, she draws similarities from Carl's words before his passing, which is true because what Carl was saying in the letter, hey, we don't have to kill people, we can save them, we can do all this and that. I mean, we can make a choice. Rick made the choice of scaring Jadis away and not taking her with him, which Rick should have done. And Michonne kind of comments on that with Rick there. Rick steps off the side of the road, needing a break, needing to contain himself because it's so intense, man. Rick's been up for days, lost his son, it's been a huge all-out war. He's on easy street, you know. He picks up Carl's letters and picks up the walkie and walks out onto a field. Takes the letters. He reads Negan's and Rick's. He reads them. He makes a contact for the sanctuary, asking for Negan. Hearing on the voice that Rick reports his son's death, and then Negan's reaction, saying, you know, anyone's ticket can be punched at any second, saying Carl was the future. They want to make peace and end the war, and now it's impossible to achieve. Negan asks if it was the Saviors that killed him, but no, he was trying to save someone else he was trying to save someone outside of the community. Negan reveals remorse, saying, you know, Carl was the future, he was a badass, he was everything that we needed, and he was saying that Carl's death was because of Rick's. Now, this is the main part of the episode, in my opinion, with the whole revolting of the Saviors. He tried revolting against the Saviors. He was not present to keep Carl safe from doing that. From doing something that would bring harm to himself. Example, going out in the forest, helping some random guy to kill zombies to save him. So Negan condemns Rick's decision, saying he failed as a leader and most as a father, saying that he was dying. He lost a losing battle, so he ended up sacrificing all his community's members and loved ones just to fight a losing war. I felt like if I heard that from Negan, I would give up. Like, as Rick, Rick is so strong, but oh man, after hearing that, like, that was complete burn. That was complete singe. Like, he lost more of his loved ones and have to live with the fact that they died losing a fighting battle. Explains that all of his losses could have been avoided if he just submitted to Negan, and he deems Rick as a failure, both as a leader and a father, and implores him to surrender, seeing that the war has caused him to lose more than he has gained. To me, he's pretty much saying that Rick failed to protect his family most importantly, and his community, and obviously all this was pointless because he was losing a battle. Anyway, to begin with, he was losing the war to begin with, which I think obviously Rick will win the war somehow, and will either end up killing or saving Negan. Look, I don't know where they're gonna go about this. I can't tell because it's too hard to predict right now, considering that they kept Negan alive in the comics, and I mean, I hope they keep Negan alive in the show because of Carl's dying wishes. Because man, remember no one predicted that fucking Carl was gonna die in the show, because he was around in the comics. Obviously, they wanted to make the comics and the show similar, but really different at the same time. how are they gonna how are they gonna do this? How are they gonna make the show different? How are they gonna give the show a different feeling compared to the comics, but also have this similar narrative, similar timeline, similar story? Honestly, I really wanted Carl to live, but obviously it's really cool to see him not be in the show anymore. He was a pretty badass. I really enjoy Carl in the comics. He's one of my favorite characters in the comics, alongside with a few others. Like, obviously, I mean, it's just so hard to draw a proper prediction. I really enjoyed the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. To me, I had really fun talking about this with you guys. I hope my review was some sort of thing. The highlights of this episode was probably Simon taking out the junkyard, and that little conversation about the helo pad and the hidden solar panels and stuff like that. I really liked Enid and Cindy's interaction, saying, "Hey, you kill, you die," kind of thing. You know, you're killing. You know, killing is the punishment. You know, killing people is your punishment. You feel bad about it. Not, hey, you kill someone and now you die for it. Which is true. I mean, you know, revenge for revenge, eye for an eye. But, I mean, so much happened. It's hard to keep up with everything. But I really liked Negan and Rick's interaction. I really liked Jadis and Simon's interaction. I really liked Jadis coming out herself again. Not being a broken English caveman warrior. And I really enjoyed everything regarding this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I hope I covered everything. I know I missed some stuff, but I'm getting used to reviewing everything, and I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys had a good day, and thank you so much for watching.